Watch. Kimora Lee Simmons' ex admits to catfishing her. Guess what's back? Back again. Bachelorette's coming back. Tell a friend. With just tones sure to be dramatic and emotionally traumatizing episode of Clayton Echard's season of The Bachelor, there are 3 questions on everyone's minds. Why does Clayton love wearing hoodies under a blazer so much? Who will he end up with, if anyone? And, of course, who will be our next Bachelorette? Heading into the finale, Rachel Recchia and Gabby Windy are technically Clayton's final 2, though The Bachelor is determined to win back Susie Evans after her shocking exit last week. With things still up in the air and the 28-year-old former football player continuing to keep the flame of this dumpster fire ablaze, all 3 women are being considered to become Bachelor Nation's next lead, a choice the ABC franchise is not taking lightly. Producers are feeling the pressure to make the best decision, a source told E! News, adding that they are being very careful and wanted to see how the audience reacted in the final weeks of the season, including last night's rose ceremony from hell. Who can forget when Greg Grippo was reportedly in contention to be the next Bachelor before the overwhelmingly negative response to his breakup with Katie Thurston during season 17 promptly ended those. After the backlash they faced when it was announced Clayton would be the Bachelor before Michelle Young's season even started, only to not have the Eureka, Mo. Nativnot really make an impression during his stint, producers are taking their time to make the right decision. Conversations have taken place with several women from Clayton's crop of contestants about taking on the gig. And the Bachelor himself weighed in. I have my thoughts on who I think would be phenomenal. I just don't feel comfortable sharing it, Clayton told E! At the Women Tell All taping. There's 4 people or so that I would not be shocked if they got the call for it. That is for the producers to decide and they have their work cut out for them. What a tease. So, while we wait for the official announcement, which is happening during Tuesday's finale, let's do what Bachelor Nation does best: speculate. Here are all the candidates to be the next Bachelorette. Susie Evans. She was Miss Virginia 2020. She knows jiu-jitsu. She got the Pretty Woman date. If the ending of this season wasn't so murky we feel like producers probably would have already announced Susie as the next Bachelorette. Yes, we are aware she somewhat looks like Hannah Brown. No, that is not a reason to pass her over. Let's move on. The 28-year-old wedding videographer is most definitely in the running, depending on how Clayton's journey ends, with a source telling E! That producers are being very careful and want to see how the audience reacts to certain contestants in the final weeks of Clayton's season. Still, part 1 of the finale ended with Clayton determined to win Susie back, despite their brutal breakup that led to her exit and his parents' concerns. Oh, and the fact that he told Gabby and Rachel that he was in love with them and gave them roses. So, Susie's potential to be the lead likely hinges on how she handles Clayton's plea to give their relationship another chance. Gabby Windy. Over the course of the season, viewers have fallen in love with the quirky and outgoing ICU nurse. Whether she was getting on the ground to play with a dog, drinking straight from 2 champagne bottles, or pretending to be a bear, Gabby's personality has been infectious. Like her scene-stealing grandfather said, she's a dingbat. Technically still in the running for Clayton's heart, the 30-year-old also happens to be the favorite to be the next Bachelorette, with a source telling E! News that production has definitely noted the positive response to Gabby on social media. And that reaction reached a fever pitch on the March 14th episode after Gabby called Clayton out for the way he treated his 3 finalists. Wrong F. King answer is already an iconic line for the ages, and initially turning down his rose. Why oh why did you change your mind, Gabby? But there is one upside to Gabby choosing to stay only to have Clayton decide he still has feelings for Susie. Gabby is going to read him for filth, and we cannot think of a better setup for a future Bachelorette. Rachel Recchia. Once the frontrunner for Clayton's final rose, given their obvious and palpable physical chemistry, Rachel would be the first female pilot to serve as a franchise lead. Though it's worth noting previous Flyers Peter Weber and Jake Pavelka didn't exactly have smooth skies during their respective journeys as And given the 25-year-old's penchant for whispering, there is a chance we wouldn't be able to hear anything Rachel would say during her season. But in all seriousness, out of the final 3, Rachel seemed the most emotionally devastated over Clayton's behavior. We can still hear her sobs echoing in that building, and still seem to be all in on their relationship. Would she really be ready to move on? Serene Russell. While Clayton gifted her with a jar of fireflies, we wouldn't mind seeing Serene get butterflies from a suitor or 2 now that she's been eliminated following hometown dates. Oh, and can we take this time to pitch a dual season with her gem of an older brother, Roland Russell, serving as the Bachelor? Now that would be a franchise first. I am still looking for my person, the 26-year-old model told E! News at the Women Tell All taping. So I think any opportunity to do that, if it feels right and if it feels genuine, then I am definitely open. Teddy Wright. Despite receiving the first impression rose, Teddy's relationship with Clayton never really took off, the frontrunner instead sort of fading into the background. For, not being messy and avoiding the drama in the house. What a shame, because the 25-year-old nurse just seems cool. I totally think that this process can work. That's the main thing. I trust in this process, Teddy told E! News. If it's the right person and you are open to love, I think it can be successful. I think anyone who is offered any kind of role in this environment would be lucky and should at least highly consider. I would consider it, for sure. Genevieve Parisi. After failing to get a one-on-one and being unable to let her walls down emotionally, the 26-year-old bartender was sent home in week 7. And when talking to E! News, Genevieve admitted the Bachelorette gig probably isn't in her future. I could see myself going on Paradise, she explained. Bachelorette is a whole other story. I don't think that's right for me. But I am so ready to find. And where better to do so than on the beach in Mexico, right? I would love to see who I could meet, Genevieve said. I feel like there's a lot of potential. Sarah Hamrick. It was the villain arc no one saw coming, and people are still confused over when the 23-year-old went from frontrunner to being called out by Clayton for faking tears in a single episode. But the wealth management advisor has a lot of support on social media, with many viewers feeling she was unfairly called out by the other women. After her experience during this season, Sarah admitted to E! News she would have to take some time to consider her decision before going on another show within the franchise. I say we'll cross that bridge when we get there, Sarah said. For now, I am very fortunate to have gone back to my life that I love and am so proud to have created. It would take something very special to kind of pull me away from that. Never say never. I am open to anything. I am very spontaneous and open to finding love in this experience. Natasha Parker. Eliminated during week 7 of Peter Weber's season of The Bachelor, Natasha made the trip to Mexico in the pursuit of a relationship on Bachelor in Paradise last summer. But she found herself involved in a love triangle with Brendan Maurice and Pieper James, who began dating before filming and were hoping to use the show as a way to gain more followers. Take note. This is the very definition of not being there for the right reasons. Fortunately, Natasha had the last laugh, with her Instagram following skyrocketing. She currently has 433,000 followers, and earning a gig as the co-host of the Bachelor Nation podcast Clickbait. Unfortunately, the 33-year-old has yet to find love, which is a damn shame, and we would love to see her handing out roses and calling out FK boys for their behavior. Kelly Flanagan. Listen, would it be unexpected for the producers to pick the lawyer, influencer, who briefly met Peter Weber before filming, was surprisingly sent home before hometowns and then went on to date the pilot for a year after his ST show season ended in disaster? Undoubtedly yes. However, there is no denying the allure of a curveball, which is what choosing the 30-year-old would definitely be for the franchise. Plus, with over 800,000 Instagram followers, she has by far the biggest social media reach of anyone on this list. And last year, when one of her fans asked if she serve as Bachelorette if the role was offered, Kelly replied, "I would definitely consider it." The Bachelor finale airs tonight at 8 p.m. on ABC. Originally published on March 8, 2022 at 5 a.m. Pacific Time.